Good to get back out here after a long weekend. I thought we had a sharp practice today. I'm not used to October 9th having it be 70-something degrees. This is kind of nice. I'm used to like hooded sweatshirt, 50 degrees, and so that was pretty nice. But, just got to keep building, and focus moves forward now to Carolina and going on the road and another divisional opponent, and would be great to be able to kind of, grab another win in the division. So that's where our focus goes, and take any questions you have.
Kirk, could you discuss the evolution of the passing attack and how you all have been able to take steps each week, coordinating with the 509 last time out?
I do think there's been continuous improvement in the offense and in the pass game week to week. Certainly felt like there was a big jump this past Thursday night, but some of it was just, it's a week-to-week league, and you never know what each week is going to bring, and that just happened to be the game that was called. I remember like my second or third start in the league, Kyle Shanahan was calling the game, and I got to the end of the game, I threw for like 190 yards, and it wasn't an explosive game. And, the narrative was, Kirk or the offense wasn't very good, and Kyle said back to me, he said, but that's not the game I called. The game I called was for you to throw about for 190 yards, and that was what we kind of gave you the chance to do. And so he made the point that some games are going to call for you to go out and throw for a whole bunch of yards, and some games are not going to call for you to do that, and we're going to have different plans. So I was reminded that again on Thursday night, that it's a week-to-week league, and Zach felt like, that was how we were going to attack them, and it doesn't mean that that's how we're going to attack every single week. It doesn't mean that's the best way to attack every single week. So the key is that whatever you do, you find a way to do it well and to get a win each week, no matter how it's done.
You said after the game on Thursday that you were going to be kind of curious to see how the team came back, and they're showing complacency, things like that. I'm curious. And
yeah.
What have you seen this week?
Yeah, Ken, the living in the past thing, that gets me. That gets my blood boiling. So I just want to make sure that we're always looking forward, that we're focused on the next challenge, and it's a balance. You need to, when you have a positive outing, you need to enjoy it. But we've had a long weekend, and now it's time to look forward and focus on Carolina. And as the great Bill Belichick would say, we're on to Cincinnati. He would say, I would say the same thing. We got to look forward.
How's your relationship with Darnell Mooney kind of evolved over the last few months?
Yeah, it's just been constant, dialogue, constant reps, learning. The routes he likes, what he doesn't like, how I can best get him the football, and I think having a locker next to him it creates good dialogue, and just kind of your off time. But he's a pro. He works hard at it. He takes care of himself, and I just have a lot of trust that he's going to do what needs to be done. He's going to be where he needs to be, and he's ultimately going to make plays. And he's a talented player, and I just want to, get him the football as best I can.
Trust is earned, and it's also like longevity and then, shared stuff. It's only been a short period of time. Mm-hmm. What about him has, caused you to trust him so much at this early stage? I
think there's times where, first of all, physically, you got to see it on tape that he can separate, that he can win. And when you put that on tape, then you kind of earn that trust. I think then the other side of it is I think he's just very locked in, mentally. He's a pro, and so you feel like from his split to his depth to, emotion to the timing to just all the specificities of playing the position, you feel like the details matter to him, and the details matter to me, and so that I think that helps him be successful and helps me, trust him. But I would say the same about, most of the guys on our team. There's a lot of guys who, although they're young, are they take their job very seriously, and it's important. It makes a difference for me.
He also seems to not be shy when it comes to the dialogue with you, telling you, I like this, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Zach just came in here and said he does the same thing to him.
Yeah.
How often is Darnell communicating with you, hey, let's do this differently, and so on?
Yeah, like I said, locker next to him, so that creates a natural space to talk. I've always wanted to be like an open book or a safe place for people to come talk. I don't ever want receivers or teammates to feel like they can't come share something. So usually when you have good, candid conversations with guys, I think it oftentimes leads to us playing better, even if maybe somebody doesn't hear what they want to hear. Usually just that candid conversation allows guys to really feel like we're on the same page. So that's been good. And, he's another guy, I think, who likes a good voice memo from me. I think he texted me after the Saints game, maybe. He just sent like a question mark or something. I think what he was saying was, "What are your thoughts?" So I voice memoed him, and I think he liked that. So I told him after the last game, I said, "I'll probably send you a voice memo," and I never did, but we ended up watching the film together with Drake and with Kyle and with Ray. We just kind of all sit down and watch the film together, and that's been really helpful to have that time to kind of talk through things, just us as players, and I think sometimes those meetings have helped translate then to the next game.
He just sent you a question. I'm sorry.
He sent, I don't know what the exact text was, but it wasn't long.
Just send me a question.
It wasn't long. I'll get back to you, Mark, on what exactly he sent. But it was basically just like a like just trying to get my thoughts, something like that. It wasn't you up, but it was something like that.
Like, what's up? I know that after the game on Thursday, you were talking about that connection took a natural progression. You felt that in the game. I'm sure it feels good as a quarterback to make it feel like it's coming together to something.
Yeah, it does.
Do you allow yourself to get excited in that moment, or you're just looking at it like, all right,
Yeah, I think you got to enjoy it. I think there's a little bit of, okay, this is fun. I was warming up between drives with JK, one of our equipment staff members, and they put up some graphic that said I had thrown for a certain number of 300-yard games now, and Jake goes, that's pretty impressive. And I looked at Jake, and I'm like, I think we're going to need a lot more than just 300 for this game. We're going to need more. We need a couple touchdowns more. So my point is we were having fun, and I said, hey, let's just keep trying to go move the football and put up points and enjoy doing it. And that's always my message to the teammates during TV timeouts, and we're all just standing there looking at each other, and we have our nerves, and we're just standing there, nothing to do. I always say, hey, guys, if nothing else, let's just enjoy competing and enjoy the opportunity we have to compete, to be at our best, and let the chips fall where they may. And I think that was going on then, and it's got to be going on again on Sunday.
I guess more so, are you allowing yourself to get excited about the way that relationship between your receivers, because it's so crucial?
Yeah.
Is taking a step.
Yeah, I'm encouraged that it's taking a step forward, and we got to keep building on it. But I was encouraged by it, and I think that's where continuing to have good conversation and meet together and talk details. And there were a couple of moments in the game. One, Drake ran a route, similar route that he scored on a touchdown early in the game. He then ran it again later, and he kind of split two zoning defenders really quickly, and he did it so well, so quickly that it caught me off guard, and it was a fourth down. I actually had to progress, and I worked back to Mooney on the other side because Drake was wide open. I just wasn't ready. I didn't quite realize he was going to win so quickly. So in the overtime, he did it again, and I was ready that time, and I hit him. And I said to him after the play, I was like, see, that's where you were doing everything right. I just wasn't on the same page, and we were able to then carry it over into an overtime, play where we were able to hit it. So you just feel like, okay, I'm starting to learn how he's doing it. And then we watched the film together. I pointed out, I want you doing this. Don't think because you didn't get the ball that you did it wrong. You did exactly right. I want you to give me that body language, and then I'll throw it to you more decisively. So just good conversation, and even when it's not perfect, you can learn from those reps.
When you have those conversations, are you getting the feeling that guys have more confidence in themselves and what the offense can be in general?
Yeah. Well, we watched the Saints game together, and I felt like the continued line I kept saying was, you're open, I need to get you the ball. It was like I kept saying, it was like a broken record. Good job, you're open, I got to get you the ball. But there were a couple where we talked about, hey, I anticipated your angle to be this. You took this angle. Talk to me about why. They explained it. I said, great, that makes sense. Do that. And then we were able to hit that on a fourth down to Mooney at that angle after missing it against the Saints. So there's just constant dialogue. It's never perfect. You're going to still make mistakes, but to just continue to kind of tighten the screws helps you have more consistent success.
How much, if at all, does an offense's opening drive set the tone for the rest of the game?
I wish it set the tone. I think it's a long game, and so I think if you can go down and score and get on the board, I think it puts the wind at your back a little bit. But I had a game 3 years ago against the Browns. We went down, scored in the first drive. Kind of thought, okay, great start to the game. That was the last points of the day, and we lost 14-7. And I'll never forget walking off the field thinking, man, after that first drive, we didn't get anything done. So you never know how it's going to play out, and that's the beauty of football is you just play this game one play at a time, and you can never really take anything for granted.
How long is the voice memo? I'm just curious.
Well,
is there a max limit?
I think my record's 11 and a half minutes to Zach. I told him he got a half-hour commute, so I told him to wait until he was in the car on the way home. But that's probably going to be the record. But I think keep it under the 2.5-minute mark is probably best.
And obviously you don't play for the accolades and the awards, but when you found out, obviously you were NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Just what does that mean for you, first one with the Falcons?
Yeah, it's just it's an individual award as they give it. It's obviously a team award as to how you earn it. And again, Zach called a game that gave me a chance to be productive, and then teammates kept getting open. Teammates kept protecting and holding. I can't get over the fact that when you drop back 60 times, basically, that your offensive line is giving you the chance to do that. And even some of the sacks, you're like, I could have gotten the ball out, guys. You know, that's not on the O-line. So it's just such a team deal, and you never forget that. And then as a guy who wants to look forward, you always then kind of say, all right, great, player of the week. Can we do offense of the month? And then can we do it for months on end? That's kind of where your focus goes.
Sessions with the receivers that you're talking about. Have y'all done those all year long?
We were watching film together in the spring. We will watch film together post practice, but I think there's nothing like game film, and so just trying to find that time to watch the game film together I think is really helpful, and we started doing that a few weeks ago. But I tell them in the meeting, I'm like, guys, I don't know if this is helping you or not, but it's helping me, so you're going to have to keep attending this meeting, because it's helping me. So they get that, and it's just good to have that dialogue.
When in the week is it?
Or just shortly after the game, so probably Monday. If we can get a normal week schedule for once. It seems like it's been a unique schedule, but just try to review the game on Monday, yeah.
Kurt, speaking of dialogue, if you could take me back for a second, at the point that regulation is over with, you guys win the toss, and you understand that you guys are going to get the ball first going into overtime. What's your mindset? Is there any dialogue that took place between you and the offense as you guys take the field?
There was mentionings of, hey, if we can score a touchdown, the game's over, and that was kind of the message they're trying to make, was we don't have to give the ball back to the other team if we can score. But I always view it as one play at a time. What's the first call? Let me think through how to execute that my absolute best, and then we'll go from there. And that's how I play it, whether it's crunch time or whether it's early in the game. That's just my mindset.
You said after the win that playing in these close games can really build character for the team. I'm just curious, with all the close games y'all played in, what do you think you've learned about yourselves?
Well, I think we're battle tested. I think that this league, I feel like close games are the norm, not the exception. So to me, to have a bunch of them, I would have said on August, I would have said, yeah, what do you expect? I mean, they're going to be close. That's the way this league is designed to be. So I'd love to have a game that I could sit back with the last couple minutes and just hand it off and we got a multiple score lead. But that tends to be the exception, not the norm.
Have you noticed in 5 weeks that the pace or the flow or anything like that with Zach and the way he's calling you the plays is improving or changing in somehow?
No, I think there's just more of a comfort level of knowing how it's going to be coming into the headset and what he's looking for. And Zach's got a steadiness to him and a calm to him that the moment's he's not gonna suddenly change. He's gonna be pretty steady all the way through. And so at times I've said to him, hey, if anything, you can say more to me, not less, because I love your feedback. I love your thoughts. Here's what I'm thinking, or hey, you got 2 downs here, or whatever it may be. Because he's not a chatterbox by any means, in the helmet, which I'm used to. My previous guys, usually they were. So that feedback's good.
I was talking today about playing against Jesse Bates, and Jesse will set you up on one series by playing something one way. And I wonder how many guys in your experience, other guys playing against, have you noticed that will do that? Is that a rare quality, or is that?
I've played with and against some really good safeties. Harrison Smith comes to mind in Minnesota. But Jesse's unique in maybe the calculated risks he'll take or the aggressiveness he'll play with at times, reminding me of the Polamalu's or the Ed Reeds where you say, he's not supposed to be there. The rules would say he's not, and this is a fast game, so I got to go off those rules. I'm not going to see all 11 all the time. And then suddenly he's there, and you think, ooh, that's really smart. Not many safeties do that because of the risk nature of it. But when you've done enough film study and you know football well enough and you feel like you can do it, those are the guys that really can keep you up at night a little bit. So I remember my rookie year, Kyle Shanahan, talking about Ed Reed and how it's like, this guy's just different. And he's just going to be he's going to break rules. And he kind of gets in your head a little bit because of that. And I think Jesse has that effect sometimes in training camp going against him that, okay, a normal safety would do this, but I don't know that he's going to do that. And how do I factor that into my plan here?
I'm sure it's a collaborative decision, but Do you have a preference whether to defer or receive after a coin toss?
Maybe I should plead the fifth on that. I'm a defer guy, but we've taken the ball a couple times, so it's whatever. I'm not the head coach. You know, I got a job to do. I'm the quarterback. You give me the ball, I got to go. You call it, I ball it, is kind of what I say. You know, I got to go take the ball and go execute, regardless of when you give it to me.
I saw you were in Athens visiting Georgia
Yes.
and Kirby. Just what was that like for you?
Yes, so my wife was asked to go back to her professor's class that she was in 12, 13 years ago. He asked her to come back and do a Q&A. She doesn't like speaking in front of people, so she said, can you come with me and we'll do like a co-Q&A. So we did, but in addition to that, we kind of quickly got around Athens, and then we stopped by the football facility because Charlie Werner. One text from Charlie Werner, and I got the red carpet. I texted Charlie, I said, man, I drop your name around this football facility and stuff gets done. So, you know, there were photos of him on the wall, and he's got his jersey up in the equipment room, so he's a big deal there. But it was cool to see, you know, one of the top programs in the country, to be able to kind of see how they operate, the facilities they have, certainly see how college football's evolved in the last 15 years. And it's great to meet the people, and I've been an adopted dog, if you will. You know, I'm not, you know, I wasn't purebred. I wasn't born into it, but I was adopted by marrying into it, and so I appreciate the treatment I've gotten.
Anything else?
You've had 2 games back-to-back where you've complimented the home crowd and the energy
Yes.
of the offense. How do you maintain that energy, though, now at a road team that's 1-4?
Well, you know, I would love to get the black and red there in Charlotte, but yeah, you got to handle noise. You got to you know, understand it's just us, you know, and we got to be locked in and have great communication all game long and execution. And you know, it's another rival in the NFC South, but I've really enjoyed playing in front of our home fans and the energy they brought, and the people that stayed till, you know, almost midnight the other night. I think they got a fun show. A couple of my family members left, so but a few of my family members stayed, and they got to see the end. So.
What do you think about those spike pads? You know?
Yes. So the professor for my wife's class, his son is on the Spike Squad. So he hooked me up with a couple Spike Squad pads that are actually meant for my boys. So Cooper tried it on, but I liked it so much, I said, I'm going to walk to the car with these on. So I put them on, and yeah, we got to figure out a place to put them. I got a memory room at home, you know, a little trophy room deal. Maybe we'll have to put them in there. I don't know, but I don't know if my wife's going to want them in the living room. So we'll have to figure out somewhere. But they're not getting tucked away. The Spike Squad pads are here to stay. So.
What was the class? What was the subject?
It was a religion class. Yeah. So it was fun to kind of walk around campus and compare it to Michigan State a little bit. Michigan State's much flatter. You know, there's actually hills in Athens. So, but it's a cool campus, and yeah, it was a good day.
Have you, just having the weekend off and maybe going to Athens, have you gotten a sense of the excitement that Falcons fans have? You know, obviously being a game is one thing, but just being out and about, is that something you picked up on?
Yes, I think is the short answer. I get feedback from people. I was at Barnes & Noble with my son on Sunday night, and we're just walking around the Buford Mall, and people come up to me and say, you know, man, we watched that game Thursday night. And usually my first question is, did you stay up? You know, did you stay up till the end, or did you go to bed? Because my son went to bed. So, yeah, people seem to be excited, and you know, it's those people that kind of you want to win. You want to give them something to cheer for. They're dying to cheer for us, and you just want to, you know, give them that special season that they can have a lot of fun with and make a lot of memories with their families following it. So hopefully we can do that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Kirk.